Hello, everybody, and welcome to another faction breakdown. In this episode, we're talking about chaos. We're talking about all the armies in chaos. We're talking Death Guard, Chaos Demons, Chaos Space Marines, Thousand Suns, Chaos Knights, even.
Hello, Mario.
And there's a lot to break down here because there's just a lot of shit. So let's get right into it, starting with Thousand Suns.
That's you.
I'll talk about Thousand Suns. All right, I might be wrong with T-Suns. I kind of just read the wiki.
Oh, would you like me to do the lore?
I could do it, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so basically all of Chaos are traitor Marines. Or they're traitors of the Imperium, basically, right?
They joined Horus.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
all chaos, but Chaos Space
Mostly,
Marines,
yeah.
The Chaos Space Marines.
The Chaos Space Marines. Let's see here. Thousand Suns are traitor Marines who pray to the god of Tzeentch, who are led by Magnus.
Magnus is their Primarch, and
Right?
Tzeentch,
Yeah.
correct.
It's
so
Primarch,
far, so good.
got sent, and then they all got sent to a world of like a bunch. Magnus got sent to like a world of a bunch of psychers, right? And then kind of learned how to become like the amazing psyker that he is. Correct?
He's kind of just a nerd, but yeah.
Yeah, something around there. He became really good, and then he basically created the Thousand Suns, right? Like he's the one that.
Well, he's their Primarch. They already existed before.
Oh, they already existed
They
before.
followed
Okay.
him into
Yeah.
chaos.
Yo, Araman, what that book do?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's basically all I know about Thousand Suns, and that they're all psychers, and they're all built around being psychers.
So
and stuff.
the wolves like burned the fuck out of their planet and almost killed all of them. So the dude Araman, the big like HQ guy, he
Yeah.
did this spell and they all turned to dust. And so they have no bodies anymore.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now
I
they're,
forgot
they're
about
like
that, yeah.
they're just like hollow shells of armor.
Yeah, well, just inside this cool-looking armor, and all their armor looks like very Egyptianized. They have this very Egyptian type of aesthetic, which is weird because Necrons are like supposed to be kind of like.
Yeah, but they're like undead skeletons.
Yeah, but they're like undead. But yeah, Thousand Suns. They have like the Rubric Marines are so cool. They have like this pharaoh like thing on the back, and
the
like,
big
it looks
thing.
so cool. And they have like these really cool staffs.
Terminators called Scarab Occult Terminators or something like that.
Cult Terminator?
Yeah, because it's Scarab. Like a
Scarab,
Oh, yeah,
Scarab
yeah, yeah.
Occult
Scarab,
Terminators.
yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Egyptian Scarab.
Yeah, something like that. They probably have some of the coolest models, like some of the coolest looking ones, like Rubric Marines, Magnus. What else? The
Bullhorn tits? Yeah.
unfortunately, they're pretty low tier. They're not in the best spot. They're not that great. They have a lot of psychers, so they give up aboard the witch really easily. But one of the cool things is that they can soup really well with other armies, and that's basically what you kind of bring them for, is to soup them. And what souping is when you take one army, like Thousand Suns, and you mix it with another army, like fucking Death Guard or something, or like Chaos Demons, and you can put them together because they share the same keywords. And then they have buffs that they can do. They have like stuff that they can do very specifically, and then the other army has stuff that they can do very specifically. You kind of make them mesh together and work together, and that's one of the cool things that you could do with Thousand Suns, is being able to soup pretty well. The units aren't really that strong.
I like Rubric Marines.
I do like
Marines are
Rubric.
really cool.
They're good,
They're-
but like
well,
that's basically
yeah.
like it, right?
Well,
Like
that's
you
their
can't
thing.
bring
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
their
really
thing.
you can't bring Magnus because Magnus is a Titan.
Well, you
right?
can bring
You
him.
can.
Yeah, you can, but like he'll get shot off the board like turn one.
But we're talking fun here.
Yeah, if you want to get shot off the board turn one, and you want to spend a bunch of money on Magnus, then you can buy Magnus, pay him, and put him on the board and watch him get shot turn one.
Listen,
I play 40K. So.
Yeah.
like listen, if you're playing against other people that are like you and new, they're not going to shoot Magnus off the board turn one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Some pros.
Shit, he does things.
They have a bunch of different psychic powers. Some of the coolest psychic powers out there. So many different types of psychic powers. Like a lot of armies, they'll have just like one discipline of just psychic powers. These guys have two. A bunch of different stuff. They can get like jank miracle dice, which is really cool.
For psychic powers.
Yeah,
I think,
for a psychic power.
Jank Miracle Dice.
funny.
Yeah, they have a jank miracle dice.
It was the original Miracle Dice. Typically.
They're the ones, if you were to look up online Chaos Space Marines, they're one of the top ones you would see. You would see Black Legion, you'd see War Bearers, and you'd see, you'd probably see Alpha Legion.
You probably see Death Guard now.
Death Guard, sorry,
yeah.
Death Guard. And you would see Thousand Suns. Because Thousand Suns, like, even though they're Chaos Space Marines, they're fairly clean looking.
So first of all, Rubric Marines. Rubric Marines are just cool.
Get Rubric Marines.
Yeah, just get Rubric Marines. They're psychers, so you can put them out in the
called
field.
Rubric.
Rubric Marines.
5-up. They have a 5-up invuln, which is cool.
They do?
Yeah, they have a 5-up invul.
They
Yep,
really?
5-up
Built in.
invul. Yep.
Do they still have the, if you're targeted by a 1 damage weapon, you get 2-up armor?
I don't know. I don't think
Because
so.
they used to get that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
They might.
Maybe.
Rules are changing
Anyways,
very rapidly.
they have a
Keep going.
Yeah, they have a 5-up invul. They have a high AP guns. Next thing you're probably gonna want is a Demon Prince. Demon Prince is like
You have
all
to.
around basically every
everything.
list that every army that we're gonna go through right now. You're probably gonna want a Demon Prince.
They're pretty much the Primaris of Chaos.
Yeah, like they're just
You need
your
'em in every army.
they're just your go-to psychers basically.
Didn't they get a big points hike, though?
I'm sure they did.
let's
Demon
see,
Princes,
they're-
I mean, 160 points.
Yeah, they have good melee.
Yeah, 5-up invul. Add 1 to saving throws if the attack has a damage characteristic of 1.
So that's for
and the
Rubric
-1 to
Marines?
hit modifiers for moving and shooting heavy do not apply to them.
Yeah.
Wow, Rubric Marines. And they carry a bunch of heavy weapons, huh?
I think so, and they are psychers.
Yeah. So you take Aramin, take some Rubric Marines, and boom.
Love Armin.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorcerers on discs and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And
I
they're
think
like
that.
super bad guys.
Oh, and then also you want to get Magnus just because Magnus is cool.
Yeah.
Magnus is so sick. Maybe don't buy him first.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe
but
not.
Yeah, don't do that.
yeah, but like maybe buy him like on your second round, and then always make sure that you do it without his chest plate so you can see his
Beautiful.
his
nipples.
You
beautiful
see his
nipples.
beautiful bare chest, or you can magnetize it.
Yeah, and take it off when you want. The next thing that we're going to talk about then is Daemons of Tzeentch.
Tzeentch.
And
So-
these are chaos demons.
Yes. So Tzeentch is naturally the god of the Lord of Change, god of change. He's the demon god of kind of twisted machinations. He's a little schemer. He's a little asshole.
Big brain.
birds.
If you're likes birds too.
Bird up.
But
Yeah.
if you're greedy, a lot of like corrupt politicians, things like that, they go to Tzeentch because he is like the weaver of the fates. He's planned for everything, and yet it's always changing. He's an entire he's a paradox. He's like an enigma. He's very mischievous. That being said, Tzeentch is kind of a little bit into cosmic horror and also body horror. Lots of gross contorting shit that goes around. So pink horrors are a big unit, the main troops of Tzeentch. Pink horrors, these little gremlin dudes, and then when they die, they split into little gremlin dudes that split into little gremlin dudes.
Really annoying to play
They're
against.
super aggravating.
Yeah.
But those are actually rather interesting. The pink horrors, there are screamers and flamers, which are giant, like flying stingrays. But the big
Oh,
thing,
they're
if
so
you want to,
cool.
those are cool. The big thing is the Lord of Change, Kairos Fate Weaver. It's a giant fucking 2-headed bird with a huge ass staff that is nigh unkillable and is insanely powerful with the exalted demons upgrades you get with CP.
Yeah.
And it's also got some insanely good psychic powers. Warp time to allow you to move again. Death Hex. As a custodian player, it puckers my asshole. Turn off all invul saves for the targeted unit.
Yep.
And then one of my favorite psychic powers in the game, Treason of Tzeentch. Pick another enemy character of any kind, and then you can use that character as if it was your own for the rest of the turn.
Pretty good.
It's really cool.
Very
and
cool.
it's particularly terrifying when you're like, yo, Ragnar,
Yeah.
kill the Blade Guard vets.
Yeah.
Kill them
Yeah,
all.
why's it gotta be Ragnar?
They're very cool. If you're gonna run some Tzeentch demons, I would probably advise against going mono. I think combining them with Thousand Suns or
Thousand
various
Suns,
other
definitely.
chapter is very good.
Yeah.
Pink horrors are wonderful. Flamers and screamers, that stuff is pretty good. I like the Mutilus Vortex Beast quite a bit. It's not great, but I think it's an awesome model. But if anything, you're gonna want to pick up a Lord of Change. They're awesome models, probably one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
And they're very effective.
So just as a quick disclaimer here, most of the stuff that's in Chaos, you're probably gonna want to soup.
Yeah.
You're gonna
This
want one
is-
of everything.
Yeah,
little bit of
this
everything.
Chaos is known for souping all of their armies, just because they can all they kind of all like work together almost.
Well, yeah, they're all about
are-
chaos.
They're all
Yeah,
about chaos.
they're all about chaos.
They're so chaotic.
Next, we're just gonna blow through this. Let's go to Chaos Space Marines. Let's
That's-
run through
Oh, just
Chaos,
Chaos Space Marines?
Let's just run through the whole thing. So if you guys didn't like Space Marines in the first episode, guess what? We got more Space
Yo,
Marines,
yo,
except
yo,
this
Tom.
time they're more edgy.
Tom, you want to roll down the lore and you want to go pop, 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 pop?
Sure.
That's it. Give me that shit.
Okay.
All right, Tom, hit it. Black Legions. You got 30
Black
seconds.
Legion, yo.
30 seconds.
So for reals, Black Legion is like the OG of Chaos Space Marines. They are previously the Luna Wolves, which were the Horus's like boo, man. Like Horus was the betrayer of mankind. His dudes were the Luna Wolves. They became the Black Legion. The Black Legion are the main Space Marine chaos. That is what they are. Every time you see
right,
them,
next.
that's who you see.
Abaddon the Black.
Warriors.
Abaddon the Black. He leads the
Abaddon
crusade.
Spoiler, yes, Abaddon. Iron Warriors, Perturabo, smug Perturabo. They are the masters of the siege. They hate buildings.
This is awful.
And they
Hold on,
fucking
hold on.
hate. They hate.
Wait,
This
is awful. This is awful. This is a terrible design.
You specifically said you wanted to burn through these.
Well, I mean, like burn through it as in like let's just get them over with. Okay, Black Legion. Go ahead.
So
Talk about
Black Legion-
a little bit
What do you,
more.
what do you buy?
Basically-
What do you buy?
Models that you want to
That's it.
take with Black Legion
taking a shit.
is you want to
I'm
take Chaos Lords, Demon Princes, Dark Apostle Chaplains, Master of Possession. As far as troops go, it's just Chaos Space Marines. The Black Legion Chaos Space Marines. Elites, Greater Possessed and Possessed. Heavy support, one of my personal favorites, Obliterators.
Obliterators,
Yeah,
really cool.
dude, those
They are cool.
models are
Yeah.
dope. They're just giant minigun toting dudes. Venom Crawlers. Pretty much like they are the Ultramarine of Chaos Space Marines. That
They're like
is-
the most vanilla
they're-
Chaos
they-
Space Marines that you can
exactly.
possibly get.
They're fun to paint. They're easy to get parts for. They are the primary dudes when you want to get into Chaos Space.
What's their trait? Like, what do they get if you run Black Legion?
Black Legion is +1 to leadership, and their rapid fire become assault when they are assaulting.
It's okay, I
Advanced.
guess.
It's nothing
not
crazy. Like I said,
crazy, yeah.
it's basic play. These are the guys that you fill out a really good, solid like demons list with. You want to take Black Legion.
Yeah.
You take Abaddon. You know, who's basically a Primarch. He's
Yeah.
not quite, but
Yeah,
Basically, girly men.
yeah. He's one of the most powerful like chaos like Space Marine units. I think the only real like major named one, other than the Red. Fucking what's his name?
Khorne? No, the big-
Magnus. Yeah,
Oh,
other than
Magnus,
Oh,
Magnus.
other than
Red.
Magnus. Okay. Yeah.
But pretty much every like they're leading the biggest like the Dark Crusade, the Black Crusade. That's what they do.
Okay, so I have Iron War. So I'll start on Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors.
I don't think I. Hold on, let me see what I wrote down for Iron Warriors because I looked at them and was like, oh, I hate this, and then I just never and then I never went back to them.
God damn it, man.
So let me just make
We would
sure.
have been done by now.
We would have been done by now.
Okay, all right. Here, check this out though. Iron Warriors. This is all I wrote. Are you ready? Are you ready? I wrote this down. Okay. Low to bottom tier. One of the worst Chaos Space Marine legions.
What do you mean? You get +1 damage
They
against
get
buildings.
They get to ignore saving throws for being in cover and reroll failed wound rolls against buildings.
Oh, it's fair. Ooh,
Awful. All around terrible. Models to get noise marines, I guess. And that's all I wrote down for Iron Warriors.
But
Their lore.
Dude,
go ahead.
dude,
Do
there
their
are
lore.
so
Do their
many
lore.
upset Iron Warriors players
I
right
know,
now.
I like Iron Warriors.
They're cool.
A lot.
They're really cool.
They're dope. Yeah. It's just that as far as the meta is concerned, they're not that great right now.
Dude,
But-
Hellbrutes and
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, Hellbrutes,
Okay,
Hellbrutes.
so they do have some cool models.
They have the coolest color scheme, man. They're gray and then they're yellow and
I just-
black. Like
Black and
stripes.
yellow.
They're,
Black
the, they're,
and yellow.
the, they're the main villain against the Imperial Fist. They hate each other.
Yeah.
Perturabo is so smug.
I don't know. I just
Imperial Fists are good at fortifying. Iron Warriors are good at
sieging.
burning.
I was looking at them and then I was just like, oh man. But then like because here's what happened.
What is it?
First
Demon
I looked at.
machines?
Demon Engines?
Demon
Engines,
Dude,
Demon
you run
Engines.
Demon Engines with
Okay,
those dudes?
okay. See, the
That's
thing is
great,
that the first thing I read was World Eaters, and I was like, oh my god, these guys are awesome. And then I looked at Iron Warriors, I was like, oh, I don't care. And that's what happened there.
Because World Eaters are way more. They have Khorne Berserkers. And that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I know, and it's cool. All right, go ahead. Talk about the lore for Iron
Well,
Warriors.
we got it already. We're fine.
Okay.
Okay, what's
I'm
next?
so sorry for everyone that wanted to learn about Iron
They
Warriors.
are cool. They
Are
are
we-
They're
Are we
really
gonna
neat.
jump into Emperor's Children or Creation of Bile? Or?
Let's do Creations of Bile.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Creations of Bile. Basically, they've got their newest supplement came out with, what is that? War of the Spider.
Yep.
Yeah, War of the
It's the
Spider.
newest one that's come up. They have Fabius Bile is like their main like leader dude, and they're kind of like a Nurgle army, but they're all about like cybernetics and enhancements and crazy freak like working on themselves, plastic surgery to like the
Chemicals.
hardest core,
Yeah.
really gross. very much like that type of niche. They've got new things coming out. Their biggest thing, I think, as far as like their army trait is like they can reroll morale. Is that what it?
No, it's Word Bearers.
Oh, that's word bearers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Creation
+1.
spots +1 to move and
strength.
+1 to strength.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
so
pretty
yeah,
good.
basically augments. Like
Yeah.
they have like augmented bodies.
You know, when I was looking up photos for Creation of Bile, all I could find were just pictures of Fabius Bile.
Because,
That's- yeah,
because,
that's all it
because
is.
Literally all it
it's
is.
just Chaos Space Marines, but Bile's there and he's tinkering. That's all it is.
He's
Yeah.
enhanced
It is the creations of Bile.
Yeah, look at all those photos I have of Fabius Bile.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
a skin suit.
Yeah.
That's skin.
Yeah. So, what do you
He's basically,
suggest?
what did I say? He was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, he's
of
Bobo.
Space Marines. Yeah,
Except he's
Yeah.
way smarter.
yeah,
So-
yeah.
Most of Chaos Space Marine is in a pretty bad spot right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Hopefully,
If,
he's gonna change it. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
hopefully
it-
that's gonna start
He'll
with that.
augment it.
if
Yeah.
you
Stop! And they're developing them. I think as we speak, they're coming out with more stuff. So hopefully, if you were to get into them and build an army for them, you can run them as a multitude of different chaos armies if you wanted to. But I think the benefit is that you're really kind of getting into something that is only going to grow from there.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Yeah.
going to get a core unit. Having +1 strength, +1 movement is pretty good. So it's, I mean, I would say it's a pretty good start, considering the fact that like I literally knew nothing about them before tonight. So I mean, I would say it's a good start if you're
Yeah,
getting into
yeah.
them.
They're fun.
all right. Okay, let's go into. Let's do Emperor's Children.
Okay, so Emperor's Children, they are the Emperor's, they are the Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines Cherry Legion that exists for no other purpose than to worship Slaanesh, and they exist for no other purpose but to exceed every extreme and to know every possible sensation. They listen to loud music, do lots of drugs, have lots of sex.
Those kids.
Yeah, those damn kids listen to their loud ass music.
Rock and roll.
So their warriors are just entirely in thrall of Slaanesh, the Dark Prince of Chaos, which we will talk about later. Their Primarch Fulgrim strived for perfection in all that they did,
Dude,
and
Fulgrim, man. That
Fulgrim,
guy.
yeah, Slaanesh, his big thing was striving for perfection as well. Have a pretty cool paint scheme. You could paint them like pink, purple, blue because they're just loud and excessive. On the tabletop, they are like other Chaos Space Marines. They are good to soup with other ones. Definitely must buy unit for these guys are Noise Marines.
Noise Marines.
Noise Marines.
There's a very fun quote where they say, "This quiet offends Slaanesh."
yeah. So Noise Marines might be the best shooting troop choice in the game. They can be.
I want to go that far.
they're-
For chaos, definitely.
Yeah.
Eradicators. What are you
no,
talking about?
I said
Troop
troop
choice.
choice.
Troop choice.
Troop choice. You can buff them up with stratagems to give them extra strength. Reroll. You can use the stratagem to reroll the wound rolls. They can shoot twice. They can shoot on death. Noise Marines. They
Really fun to paint.
really fun to paint. They do not have their own dedicated like model right now, other than the $30 model, which they sell one for $30. You might have.
They don't have a dedicated Noise Marine model?
They do not. They have upgrade sprues that you can buy.
upgrade sprues,
Yeah,
okay.
but it's not the same, you know.
So, what are the models?
Pretty much.
Noise Marines.
Like just Noise
I
Marines?
don't have many
It's
other
pretty much Noise
recommendations
Marines.
other
Yeah,
than Noise
there's-
Marines, and I don't know if I should recommend the Forge World model, but the new Terex drill is pretty cool. The Terex drill will bring your Noise Marines in. It kind of acts. You'll bring your Noise Marines in to the center of the field, and then your Noise Marines will just kill anything in their pathway.
Yeah.
Terminators are cool. All right, so as I mentioned before, Slaanesh, also known as the Dark Prince, the Prince of Pleasure, the Lord of Excess, the Perfect Prince, and
Etc.
even the Prince of Chaos in the Imperium of Man is the Chaos God of Pleasure, Excess, and Decadence. As I mentioned before, sex, drugs, loud music, lust.
You're forgetting a big one.
Hookers and blow.
Pain.
pain.
Pain's
Yes,
a
I
big
forgot
part
about
of that,
pain
too.
is a big one. When we talk about Jakari, pain.
They talk of pain as if they are familiar with the feeling. Pain. All I know is pain.
Lust, pride, self-indulgence are the hallmarks of all who follow Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the youngest of the four major Chaos Guards because he spawned because of the Eldar living
Hate
there.
fucked into existence.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
we will talk
Murder
about that
fucked
later,
into
but the Eldar
existence.
lived such an exuberant life
fucked, murder
that they
fucked.
created their own
Yo, fuck
Chaos
the
Guard.
Eldar.
Yeah, called Slaanesh.
Called Slaanesh. He strives for perfection and actually is neither a girl or a boy, but people refer to him as a he. He's,
Yeah, sometimes.
He is androgynous. got 9 titties.
Got 9 titties.
Yeah. Big titty goth girl.
Big titty goth egg.
Yeah.
Well, it should be stated that the Chaos Gods don't have a form.
Yeah.
All Chaos Gods don't have a physical form.
Yeah.
So we assume that they have 9 titties.
Yeah, fan art.
Dude, Slaanesh. Okay, when I was looking up pictures for Slaanesh, you have no idea how many nipples, how many woman, how many woman
9.
titty nipple
Nine.
I saw. There was so much. I had to find specific pictures where it didn't have woman titty in it. But
Did you see the fiends? The
I
fucking
did.
anteater ones, like the 17 tits on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's so weird, man.
it's so
Imagine painting 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
yeah, just-
Honey, are you coming to bed? Hold on, I need to darken this nipple.
Yeah, it needs.
yeah,
Anyways.
Areolas. Just
yeah,
like,
That's a
Go
goddamn.
ahead. Sorry.
Anyways, on the tabletop, they are very, very melee focused. They don't have much shooting. I think their longest gun is like 12 inches.
How do they have any shooting of any kind besides like the whip
They're like
on the
whip.
keeper?
Yeah, the longest thing is like 6 to 12 inches. I forget which one it is.
Ooh, yikes.
Most lists you'll find will have demonettes. They are your go-to unit. They're your troop choice. You run big blobs of these things, ranging from 10 to 30.
Almost said big boobs.
Yeah.
Almost
Boobs.
said it. Almost said it.
Yeah. Their army-wide trait is that they can fight first, which will grant you a free interrupt if you're charged by multiple units. Other than demonettes, I would have to say Keeper of Secrets. If you remember the pictures that Raph showed earlier, you saw the little ones, those were demonettes. The big ones, those were the Keeper of Secrets. They got 18 titties. They are huge, beautiful models that are
went
cool
up
to
in
have.
titty
They
size.
destroy shit on the tabletops. They cost 200 points, have 16 wounds. Toughness 7, you can upgrade them to be Exalted for 1 CP. There's a lot of different really cool upgrades you can do. You can make them move faster. You can give them an invul save.
Four-up invul.
Yeah, 4-up invul. You can give them exploding 6s. You can make them tougher to hit in melee. You can make them heroically intervene. I guess the one thing that might drive them away from newcomers is that they're melee focused, don't have much shooting.
They're really spindly.
Yeah, they're really spindly, kind of hard to paint, kind of hard to move around. They're also kind of expensive because if you run demonettes, you want a lot of them.
Yeah. Don't forget to mention fiends.
Yes, fiends. Can you talk about fiends?
Yes, I forgot to mention.
Yes.
So fiends are like an elite choice. They're kind of the weird anteater one. The main thing about fiends, you can run them in groups of 1, but they have natural cannot fall back from me.
Yeah.
Just straight up. So you run up to any kind of big tank or anything that matters, and you can just kind of like grab it, and that's huge to restrict movement.
Is it on a? Do you have to roll?
No,
It's just automatic.
it's free.
That's good. But yeah, Chaos Demons. If you want to be competitive, they're a pretty good army.
Lots of demon princes.
Yeah,
Lots of
Slaanesh.
demon
You'll
princes.
see Slaanesh souped with maybe Emperor's Children. You see Slaanesh souped with Death Guard.
Yeah.
Because Death Guard moves slow, demons move fast. They hit hard.
Yeah.
Death Guard moves slow. They kick kind of okay-ish, but they're just there to survive.
Sometimes you'll get demon monster mash where it's like
Yeah.
some Grey Unclean ones, some Lords of Chains, some Keepers of Secrets.
Yeah, you get a little bit of everything that way.
All right, John P, are you done talking?
Yeah, I'm.
Because you're about to talk about Alpha Legion.
About to talk. Anyways, so Alpha Legion, first things first. Alpha Legion, not much is known about the Alpha Legion. They have a seemingly, they are allied with Chaos. Some people think not.
Yes, people think they're loyalists, but
Some
they're
people
like in
think they're
disguise.
loyalists. Yeah, their history kind of indicates that their seeming service to Chaos might be the greatest deception they have ever played upon the Imperium. They're all about like deception, misinformation. Their Primarch is he's known by the Cipher, Alfarius. There might be like multiple copies of him.
Do you know who the Cipher is?
I do not.
He's a Dark Angels dude.
Yeah, Cypher carries around that stupid sword.
I see.
Cipher.
But yeah, very little is known about these guys other than they are deceptive, mischievous, they're cunning. They got cool armor. It's like a blue with a green tint. Their logo is a Hydra because of their like deception, I am Alfariousness stuff. They're pretty memey. People like to make a lot of jokes about them. On the tabletop, they have a very good defensive trait. -1 to hit outside of 12 inches. Pretty good if your opponent's not close up to you, which makes it a good soup candidate. Once again, soup these guys with like Slaanesh demons. They can handle the front line, while Alpha Legion handles the back line. Where is my thing? I have here that you should run them. For models, you can buy a sorcerer to get warp time to move your guys. You can get a huge possess bomb to protect them with the fun strats that they have. They have a lot of cool strats. A lot of fun strats that mess with your opponents. You can make your enemy deep strike at 12 inches instead of 9. You can make your enemy vehicle blow up on 3s instead of 6s.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Yeah,
stratagem.
fun.
Yeah.
You kill an enemy vehicle, you roll a 1 CP, they add 3 to their explosion roll.
Yeah, you're like, wait, that one might blow up a little more likely. They have a stratagem so that if a unit is not the closest targetable unit, the enemy cannot target it to protect that huge possess bomb.
Death Guard have that too, right? Cloud of Flies, I think.
Cloud of Flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Alpha Legion.
Cool. And that's Alpha Legion. Okay. All right. Let's talk about word bearers.
Word bearers. Well, there's not really anything like super special about them. As like if that was your army you wanted to play, they basically reroll morale tests. That's pretty much
Whoa.
it. Yeah. But the coolest thing about them is the fact of like who they are. The ward bearers were like the dudes who like made the heresy a thing. Like
At least they really helped it.
yeah, like they
Yeah,
were the
we're like-
ones that were like they were the first other than Horus's dudes, the Luna Wolves. They were like the first ones to be like kneeling for the Emperor. Nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Fucking
and
Lorgar.
it's really funny because Lorgar was like the most like religious. You know, Lorgar was like all about like the Emperor to the point where he was like, you know what, you're not emperor-y enough for me. You know, like why don't we should follow Horus? He's super emperor-y, you know.
Lorgar was a dick.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like the models themselves, that they're nothing special. There's nothing really like over exaggerated about them. Black Legion and Ward Bearers are mainly separated by a paint scheme.
Like darker red.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But when, like, if you're gonna play Ward Bearers, you're playing them because you like the heresy. That's the reason you're playing them. So they're more a lore army to get into. They look awesome. They look phenomenal.
Like if you're looking
I
for
mean.
like fluff for
Yeah,
Chaos Space Marines,
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
run Word
Yeah,
Bearers.
and you want to just be like, F you Emperor, F you Imperium, F you anything to do with happiness, that's Ward Bearers. Like, that's what they do, you know?
No 40k player ever came in and said, I want to play Word Bearers. They learned the lore.
And then said,
they were
yeah.
like, oh shit, I should play Word Bearers.
I should play Ward Bearers. Yeah, and the one thing I will say about them is like, you run them just like you would Space Marines. Minus the Primaris. You don't necessarily usually run them with Demon Princes and stuff, but at least the list that I've seen. And the reason is because of the fluff. You can do that, but they're kind of cool to run just as a direct combat against Space Marine. So it's Space Marine on Space Marine.
Yeah.
And they definitely you can even play them in 30K. Which, you know, we're getting into a whole new
That's a
can of
whole
worms
different
there,
category.
but you can play them in other game modes,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
What are the models that you suggest for them?
Honestly, it's just Space Marine models. I mean, if Black Legion models or any Chaos Space Marine models, there's nothing, like I said, super fancy about them. You want to basically take, Dark Chaplains, your Chaos Space Marines, any type of... They have some cool flyers. I think they get some type of bonus to their flyer, but I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
Is the Chaos Space Marine flyer a Helldrake?
It's a Helldrake.
I'm sure there's some Forge World ones, but the Helldrake is a big part of it.
the big
Yeah,
one?
the
Yeah.
Demon
big
Engines.
dragon.
Demon Engines are really cool to run with these guys, merely
Yeah.
just for the
Yeah.
paint scheme, honestly.
Yeah.
And it goes with them. You know?
That actually does remind me, though, there are two particular models that we have not talked about with all these Chaos Space Marines that we really should. The Venom Crawler.
I brought it
Yeah,
up.
he mentioned
I
it.
said
Did you,
Venom Crawler,
did you
yeah.
mention the Lord
For-
Discordant?
No, I did not. I said Venom Crawlers for Black Legion.
I had it in my
I
notes.
must have been in back.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I had it in my notes for Alpha Legion, but I didn't say it. But yeah,
The Lord Discordant?
Lord
Yeah.
Discordant, great for Alpha Legion.
Ward Bears are very much, you're getting into them because you like the lore behind them, which I would definitely recommend getting into.
Yeah.
And also, too, they're a really fun way to run Space Marines, but be really bad guys about it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move into World Eaters next. World Eaters, probably like in the same range as Emperor's Children, in the sense of like what's good out of Chaos Space Marines. just because they get like +1 to wound. So
Oh, their abilities. Oh,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What's good?
Yeah.
That's good.
No, they get like +1 attack or something.
Oh, so they get like
World Eaters are
Something like
basically
that.
like dark.
they
Death
fucking
Company.
melee. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Yeah, they get.
Well,
they get
Oh yeah,
hateful
yeah, yeah.
assault.
Their Legion trait is
Yeah,
that they get
yeah.
an extra attack. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
On
It
top
was
of
they get an extra
hateful
attack.
assault?
On top of hateful assault, so you're getting 2 attacks.
That's nutty.
So World Eaters, they're servants of Khorne. They kill for the sake of just wanting to kill. They basically just want vengeance. They want to just spill blood for the blood god.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's basically it. Like if you want to play Chaos Space Marines, you want people that just want to kill shit because they feel like killing shit. You want to go with World Eaters. Let's see.
Butcher's nails, man.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Unfortunately, they are kind of like lower to bottom tier. Chaos Space Marines in general.
Yeah,
You know, they're kind of lower to bottom tier. But World Eaters, you know, they want to get into melee combat. They run up the board with like warp time and stuff, and they get into melee combat using things like Berserkers. Berserkers are absolutely insane with these
Berserkers are
guys.
nutty.
You can re-roll charge rolls with Icon of Wrath.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
They're melee blenders. They also get Blood for the Blood God, which lets them attack twice, which is insane. That is crazy. Also, they look really edgy.
They're super cool.
They're super
Super
edgy,
edgy.
looking. And since they are Chaos Space Marines, they get Shock Assault. Which
Hateful
means,
Assault.
Or Hateful Assault.
Hateful
Well,
Assault.
I call it Shock Assault, but yeah, it's the same thing.
It's not.
What?
That's good. I mean, it is. It is. But it's
One's
not.
hateful.
Yeah, one's hateful, one's a shock.
One's like, huh? One's like,
Not, they are the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So they get Shock Assault, so they get +1 attack. Plus with World Eater's Legion trait, they get another 1 attack. So they get extra 2 attacks along with Blood for the Blood God. It's
a
crazy.
It's a lot of attacks.
Their real big cons is that they move really slow. They're only 1 wound models for now. Probably when they get updated, they'll be updated to about 2 wounds. And then they just die fast. They're not very durable. So the stuff that you really want with them are Berserkers. That's like your bread and butter with World Eaters.
Bread and butter.
bread and butter.
Bread and butter, man. Group of 10 of them get 40 attacks with Shock Assault and Legion. And then with Blood for the Blood God, you double that, so that's 80 attacks that you're getting. Plus you have an attack against stratagem. So you can essentially
You can fight 3 times.
you can fight 3 times. That's 120 attacks. No matter what you're attacking, they're dead.
That's a bit of an overkill at that point.
Yeah, that's so overkill.
The
But-
best kind of kill.
Yeah, and they're like, you can get +1 to wound for 1 CP. With Berserkers, you know, they're troops, so they get OBSEC. Soak the Nails gives you exploding 6-ups for 1 CP. Berserkers are nasty.
Do you need more hits though with Berserkers?
I don't know.
At that point, I'd
playing
say you need better weapons.
Dude, when I looked at Berserkers and I read what they do, I was like, oh my god, what are all the combos they can do? And I just like
Yeah.
looked it up, dude. They're nuts. They're so cool. Next thing you want, Demon Prince, obviously.
Yep.
It's a chaos. Demon Prince, bread and butter.
Bread and
Bread and
butter.
butter. But they have like cool,
B&J.
like you know, Death Hex, Prescience, Diabolic
Yeah.
Strength.
Yep.
All those good stuff. And then the next thing that I think that you should get if you're gonna play World Eaters is definitely a Rhino. Since
yeah.
Your
Yeah,
units
yeah.
are so slow. They're so slow. You need a Rhino, which is a dedicated transport to move them across the board. Just because if you don't, they're going to die.
and they're squishy. That's the problem.
And they're squishy. So that a Rhino kind of protects that. Yeah, that's a World Eater.
That's World Eaters.
That's World Eaters.
Also mentioned earlier, the Emperor's Children might get a Codex type thing. It's the same deal
Same
with World
deal,
Eaters
yep.
because that's the major Khorne faction, and Angron, Primarch of the World Eaters, is alive,
Yep.
and he's a demon Primarch
Yeah.
in the lore.
Yeah.
Angron is dope.
Angron is
Angron.
so Angron removed, put a bunch of nails in his brain to remove all the parts of his brain that made him not angry. So he's just perpetually angry.
His name is Angron.
His name is Angron. All right. So Daemons of Khorne, they are as they seem. They're Khorne, blood for the blood god, skull for the skull throne. They want to murder. I'd say Khorne demons are like they're a little bit. I would argue they're the worst of all the demons in terms of meta. I think that their bloodletter bombs and stuff are pretty terrifying. But I would say that the Tzeentch Lord of Change it's like their competition is Tzeentch, and the Lords of Change are just nuts. Khorne demons are just melee focused, where Slaanesh runs up really fast and it hits first and hits a lot. Demons hit insanely hard in Khorne demons, that is. Bloodthirsters and bloodletters, particularly. I know a bloodthirster can get an exalted ability that gives them like mini Gazgul.
When you just think like demons and hell and all that
Satan.
stuff, that's Khorne.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Khorne. That's Demons of Khorne.
Khorne, thanks, buddy. I honestly feel like Khorne demons are, since the bloodletters themselves are really solid, they're great units to run. I think that the bloodthirsters, which are the giant dudes with the axes you might see in the couple of photos that came by, I think they're really powerful in terms of how hard they can murder you. I think they simply lack a whole lot of survivability, and they don't lack enough weird, goofy tricks that people like Slaanesh and Tzeentch have. And they don't have the durability of Nurgle. That being said, if you want like red, scary demons with horns and Satan, like you said,
These are your classic demons.
get your classic old Khorne boys.
If you think of Ozzy Osbourne and like that's
And
it.
ripping off. If you think like Lil Nicky.
Little Nicky. Little Nicky. That's actually a
This
really
is-
good
this is
example.
And they have dogs of Khorne, and therefore they are Khorne dogs.
So that was Demons of Khorne. Oh, okay, let's go. Wait, so that finishes off Chaos Space Marines
we got Night
as
Lords.
well.
Night Lords.
Oh yeah, Night Lords. I forgot about Night Lords.
So I'll do Night Lords quick.
Yeah.
They're Conrad Kurz. They're basically like super terrorism. They're all about fear tactics, so they're all about leadership removal, like lower leadership, make you run more, which in 9th edition isn't
it
great.
does not play out very well.
They do have two particular stratagems I think are super great. One of them is a 2 CP strat that you pick a character in 18 inches and it turns off all their auras, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
Pretty useful.
Like you roll up to Belisarius, gets call, and you're like, no. You don't get
Hey,
that.
stop doing that.
Stop that. Stop that. Or like Gilliman. Just stop it.
Just delete him.
Yeah, he's just like stops doing his work. So him, that's cool. And they also have a 1 CP, you can't fall back, which is kind of nice. Honestly, if you're doing Night Lords, it's similar to the Word Bearers thing.
Yep.
You aren't coming into Night Lords like, I'm going to play Night Lords. You learned about them through your escapades, and you're like, okay, I want to do these guys. They got the big bat wing type things.
They have
and
dudes
Yeah,
called
they're-
Raptors.
the
which are
Raptors.
dope.
Yeah, the Raptors are probably their main
Yeah.
unit you should buy. They're a bunch of jetpack, murderous Chaos Marines, and they fit Night Lords perfectly. Besides that, I don't have a whole lot. Conrad Kurz is dead, so we're not getting a Primarch model of him. They're just, if you wanted to play Night Lords, you're already really playing Night Lords. Same thing as with Word Bearers.
Very similar to Word Bearers.
yeah.
They're also compatible in 30K.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So
that's true.
that's a whole, like I said, a whole other thing. But you know, so you've got some maneuverability there.
They're cool,
Yeah.
but they're just
Yeah.
they need a rewrite because leadership is not as powerful in 9th, and their whole army revolves around.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're getting them basically Space Marine versus Space Marine. That's why you're playing them.
Absolutely. Raptors though, get Raptors.
All right, so moving on to the next one, the Big Stinky Boys.
Big stink.
Big Stink, probably one of my favorite Chaos besides Thousand Suns.
A lot of people's favorite now.
Yeah.
Death Guard, they're basically just dead Space Marines. They're devoted to Nurgle,
They're not dead.
or whatever
they're
are.
rotting.
They're rotting. Yeah.
Putrefied, rotting,
Yeah.
walking corpses.
So they followed Mortarion into battle during the Horus Heresy or something, and they like went into the warp, and then when they went into the warp, they got like this plague sickness, and then that's kind of like what bloated up their bodies and made it so then they started like.
It's
about right,
basically
yeah.
from their the planet. Mortarion was cast into the warp, and then they took over a planet that was ruled by these Nurgle demons. All of his sons came over, now inhabited the planet. Due to the fact that they are on this planet, the plague of the planet has now become them.
Yeah, they got this sickness. It bloated up their bellies. That's why they're all fat, which is kind of cool.
Is there a reason why you locked eyes with me when you said that?
Oh yeah, because we're two fat dudes. So you know what I'm talking about. I look to you guys for clarification of
You're
lore.
right, you're
I'm just
right.
like, am I right? I'm right, right?
Brothers in the chub.
Yeah. So like they got big fat bellies because of the plague that they had.
Teeth too, and
Yeah.
tongues.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tentacles coming out of them.
So they have like they're eternally just like rotting flesh all the time. They smell rancid, so they're really stinky boys. In fact, they smell so much that they literally have flies around them, which makes them -1 to hit. Like in the actual gameplay, it literally says they smell. The smell attracts flies so much
That
that
they'll
it
hit,
obscures your line of sight.
I think it's so funny too that they have auras where like if you get close to them, they deal mortal wounds if you just by being close to them.
Yeah, because
just how much they smell.
yeah, because I think it's called like pestilence or something, where whenever you get near them, they smell so bad that it causes mortal wounds to you.
Yeah.
They are one of the higher tier armies in the game.
Very good.
Very good.
They're one of the better armies, especially when you soup them. But like they can do kind of well mono faction. No, actually, I think that they do perform really well as mono faction, but they perform even better when you soup them. In order to play them, they kind of just want to stand on an objective. They are hard to hit. They're hard to move off the board. You kind of create a bomb of hard to hit, hard to remove units because all of the units in there are T5 or higher. And they all have a 5-up feel no pain. Yeah, most units that you're going to bring.
Poxwalkers aren't.
Yeah, Poxwalkers aren't, but you know, like your Plague Marines, you know, they're going to be T5. Everything else that isn't a Poxwalker, I think, is T5 or higher. Everything has a 5-up feel no pain. Because they're mostly T5, you're usually wounding them on 5s or higher with your regular troops. You know, they hit just as hard as regular Space Marines in melee combat because they get Hateful Assault,
Plague weapons.
Plague weapons. You get to re-roll your wound rolls of 1. There's soon to be
rerolls.
2 wound models when their when the Death Guard Codex comes out next month.
2 wound Plague Marines.
Oh my God, it's gonna be
3 wound Blight Lord Terminators.
and then they also have some of the coolest models in the game. As far as models go, what you want to grab are Plague Marines. Plague Marines are just amazing. I was gonna say bread and butter, but
Bread and butter.
Mac and cheese.
Rotted bread and butter.
they're your rotten bread and butter. Definitely Plague Marines. There's soon to
Moldy
be
bread
2
and butter.
wounds. Incredibly tough. It's hard in melee. They get shock assault or they get hateful assault.
As-
I literally wrote in here your bread and butter unit. Foul Blight Spawn. That's a good way to let you be able to get on to objectives faster because it lets you get 2 rolls
Is that
on
that
your advance.
flying bug thing?
I think it is. Or it's like
No.
to do with the little bug on his shoulder.
It could be. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But yeah, he just lets you do that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A Foul Blight Spawn doesn't let you advance. That's what lets you attack first. Everything that's around him,
fight
7-inch
last.
aura is fight last.
There's a blight flag.
So Foul Blight Spawn, really good. Get your Plague Marines on the board, and then let them hit first. Amazing. Plague Burst Crawler, I think that's a really solid model. T8, 12 wounds, 5-up invuln, 5-up feel no pain. It's a great tank, moves 9 inches, but it can advance and still shoot a strength 7 2d6 flamer. Also, it's a plague weapon, so you get to reroll wound rolls of 1.
Good
And it
tank.
has a mortar that ignores line of sight.
Yeah.
Great model. I think it only costs like 150 points or something. Nurgling's another great one. We'll talk about it later. And then a Chaos Rhino, again, because they move slow. Chaos Rhino's good to help out. And yeah, I'm now going to talk about Daemons of Nurgle. They are Chaos Demons, Daemons of Nurgle.
Shouldn't take too long because it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, let me tell you guys about Daemons of Nurgle. Daemons of Nurgle are basically like Death Guard, and I'm being dead fucking serious. They literally play the same way as Death Guard, except that they're just a little bit more harder to kill. Chaos Demons were made by the Chaos God Nurgle, so they go to worlds and spread diseases and decay. You know, basically like spreading their sickness throughout the worlds that they kind of want to capture or whatever. And in order to conquer those worlds, they're led by someone called the Great Unclean One. And he's just like this big, imagine like Buddha, but like, but like a really zombie.
But he's dirty.
And that's Nurgle. Nurgle's highly competitive, especially when it's souped with Death Guard or running Demons Undivided. Same thing, they sit on objectives, they're hard to kill. They run lots of Nurglings to run them all over the board. They basically, they revive models with the Unclean One. They're demonic, so they have a 5-up invuln.
Bro, do you know the Great Unclean One's ability when he charges?
What?
Crushing bulk.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's fat.
Yeah. Whenever you charge on a 4, takes a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is crushing bulk.
They can
Buddha's bulk.
They can also revive high toughness models, which is nasty, at like full health.
Doomsday Bell.
Yeah, with the Doomsday Bell. They have access to Plague Bearers, which are nasty. They have access to Beasts of Nurgle, which are nasty.
Nurglings?
Nurglings.
No, Beasts of Nurgle.
No, and Nurglings.
And Nurglings.
Oh, and Nurglings, yes. So they just have. It looks like that Nurgle doesn't have a lot of damage, but they actually do in terms of mortal wounds. Like Beasts of Nurgle have some. I think that like on a 6 you deal mortal wounds, right? on
Beasts
a
of
wound
Nurgle?
roll. Beasts of Nurgle.
I don't remember, but Beasts of Nurgle in their own right are just really strong.
Yeah. So Beasts of Nurgle, that's definitely something that you want to grab if you're running Nurgle. They have a 5-up invuln, 5-up feel no pain, T5, D6 attacks, rerolling failed wound rolls, and they can heroically intervene.
And they have 5 wounds.
And because their bases are pretty large, you can actually put them on an objective and stop people from getting on the objective, or else you're going to heroically intervene into them and then just fucking kill them.
And that Doomsday Bell.
Yeah, you can just revive them. Nurglings are really good just because it gives you obsec, being able to revive them.
Forward deploy.
Also, and forward deploy,
Forward
they have
deploy is
infiltration,
so
so that's
good.
also really good. But yeah, Nurgle's pretty cool, man. Super strong.
Like I said, if you're getting into chaos, they're the ones that you probably them or Khorne. It's pretty much Khorne
gonna
and Black
be-
Legion.
Yeah,
or them.
you're gonna probably either run Demons of Nurgle, Death Guard, Slaanesh.
Death Guard's good too because their main facet of their army, their insane toughness, does not require skill to play
Yeah.
in a sense.
It's
So
simple.
if you're a new player, like you don't have to do any. It's an entirely passive ability, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything for that toughness to help you out. So it's
Yeah.
really good for new players.
Yep.
Now let's finish this off strong and talk about Chaos Knights.
If nobody else wants to, I can.
Yeah, well,
There's not much to say.
fuck, there's not much to say. Okay. So Chaos Knights.
No, let John P do it. John P.
really?
John P.
I have notes for Imperium Knights.
Imperium Knights.
Imperial Knights.
I want to
but,
see him do something that's not written.
It's the same thing.
Okay, so Knights are
to say
these
Bricky.
huge things that were scattered across the universe to protect the planet that they inhabit. They are ancient battle suits that are 30 to 40 Terran feet, which are 9 to 12 meters tall. They are protected
Fucking
by
Europeans.
nearly impenetrable ion shields and armed with a devastating array of heavy weapons. The Knights are colossal war machines that tower over the battlefield. Their joints are lined with adamantium to protect their vulnerable joints.
Like Logan.
Yeah, like
Wolverine.
Logan. They are driven by a pilot. This pilot is bonded to the machine.
It's called the Princess.
They
Machine
call it
spirit.
Princess. With Chaos Knights, these things were once noble and turned to chaos. And that's what makes them different.
They're evil.
They're evil.
You know, like how there's like Crimson Chin, and then there's the opposite Crimson Chin.
You want to tell me the name of that chin?
I don't want to say it. That's why I said. That's why I specifically said the opposite Crimson Chin. That is basically what Chaos Knights are to Imperial Knights.
Yeah, you get.
They look great.
They look
They're
cool.
amazing
Yeah.
models, and you basically like if you're just starting out, it's so hard because like I want to recommend Chaos Knights or just like Knights in general because you only need 3 of them.
Yeah.
Or like
Ironically,
even 2,
they're one of
but-
the cheapest armies to field because you need so few.
Yeah.
Even though they're expensive individually.
Yeah, they're expensive individually, but you just have just one big fucker on the field, and you're just like, fight me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. So with these guys, obviously they're big, expensive models on the tabletop. You'll probably only have like 4 or 5 models on the table. They are not good at all
suck.
in 9th edition. I will say that.
suck.
They're pretty bad.
They are very bad. They don't play the objective well. They don't do actions well. They bleed secondaries. There's an abundance of terrain in this edition. There's a lot of line of sight issues that they have. It just doesn't feel good for them. If you make it's not really good for a new player because if you make a mistake and you lose a guy, that's like a quarter of your army just gone.
yeah.
But
Do what he said.
Yeah.
Like a knight, like if you're gonna do it by one cool knight and run it with your demons or
Yeah.
your Chaos Space
Yep.
Marines. Or
Yep.
Don't do all knights.
do all knights,
Doesn't
yeah.
work.
Knights,
It's like playing chess with 4 queens. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool, but you're gonna lose because
one of
chess
them's-
players are good. And,
Yeah.
and every time one of them goes, that's like a quarter of your army.
Yeah.
they don't have many models. Some models I personally think are really cool. The Knight Gallant. It's the one with the big chainsword and the like Thunderstrike Gauntlet.
Like Gallant.
Gallant.
I think it's called the
English?
Rampager.
Gallant?
Gallant.
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 Gallant?
There's no Y in there.
I know.
Wow.
Oh. It's silent?
You know, knights are pompous assholes.
It's like it's just British.
Gallant. What about this one? The Knight
Strike again.
Valiant.
Yeah, the Valiant.
The Knight Valiant has
It's favorite knight.
has a really cool gun. It's a flamer. Strength 10, deals 10 damage.
That's the Thunder Coil Harpoon.
Yes.
That's not a flamer.
The good old
It's not-
The flamer's the conflagration.
Ricky will explain the Knight Valiant.
It's just it's a big fucking knight with a giant flamethrower and a harpoon that does flat 10 damage.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's super fun, and you only run it if you have like a massive cock.
If you're a fan of water,
None of us do.
None of us do. It's why I do not own a Knight Valiant.
All right. Okay, so that is Chaos. Thank God. We are officially done with all Space Marines.
Yeah!
Anything that has to do with Space Marines, we are done with them.
Oh shit, we have
Actually-
custodians.
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 They're pretty cool though.
Yeah.